Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Pointy Not Sharp. Today we're taking a look at the Italian M4 bayonet for the M1 carbine. So these bayonets, and this one in particular, were made by AET, or the Arsenale Esercito Torino, the Turin Arms Arsenal, and about 150,000 of them were made between 1955 to 1960. Well, those are the official dates. I've seen one that's been made in 1961, so I believe 1961 as well, obviously. So a little bit of history as to why Italy needed these in the first place. Between 1950 to 1963, the US provided Italy with about just under 147,000 M1 carbines under the Military Assistance Program, or the MAP. So initially, the US provided Italy with a small stock of US-made M4 carbine bayonets. M4 bayonets for the M1 carbine, and they're virtually identical to what we have here, except obviously the US markings and the leather grips. Italy repurposed them obviously for themselves and removed all the markings and got their own custom scabbards made of leather with a metallic locket and chape. However, in 1955, Italy started production of their own M4 bayonets, which is very similar to what we have here. The first year of production had wooden grips, and I believe that was while they were purchasing and acquiring the tooling for the plastic grip here. And it appears in 1955, because there are 1955 examples, or maybe they were refurbished, I don't know, with these plastic grips. And Italy continued production until about 1960, obviously probably 1961 as well, because I've seen a 1961 example. Now, I've heard it explained that the brown plastic of these grips is very similar to what the Dutch were using on their AR-10s. I don't know if it's the same plastic, but it's a nice little comparison I've heard. Anyway, I'll put that back down. So the actual scabbards that the Italians used were purchased from the US, and they're just your classic M8A1 scabbards. And as far as I can tell, they were all made by the Pennsylvania Working Home for the Blind. And they were all painted in this olive colour, so even the metallic components and a bit of the frog as well. And as you can see, that doesn't have a US wire hanger, which all the US ones do. So Italy kept these bayonets in service for absolutely ages into the 1990s, and they kept them in stock for a little bit longer. Then they sold them to collectors through the civilian marksmanship program in the mid-2000s, and they flooded the market. They were dirt cheap, so your GI M4 bayonets were pretty expensive at the time, like $100-200. These things were like 40, dirt cheap. Since then, they've gone up in value a bit because they're a bit scarcer now. There's less of them on the market, and collectors now actually want them, as opposed to back then when they didn't. As far as I can tell, they were never really used in any military conflict. Italy didn't really get involved in any wars, and I think they had a couple of troops in Kosovo and Timor-Leste, but that was well and truly after they would have been using these. From what I can tell, the only operational use of these bayonets, of the M1 carbine in Italy, not so much the bayonet, is with regional police forces. They were issued with these. Anyway, we'll jump into the actual construction of the blade. So it's virtually identical to the US M4 GI bayonet. So it's got the classic M3 style blade with the full true edge and the half false edge. It's that classic blade profile we all know and love. Crossguard with muzzle ring, obviously made to fit the M1 carbine, and this plastic grip that's made to sort of replicate the look of the leather grip that the USGI one had, and then it's just the same hole. I'm going to do another video when I get my hands on a US one, just because I think they're cool. And same as every other video where I've reviewed one of these scabbards, it's just a M8A1 scabbard, same as what they used on the M3, M4 obviously we have here, the M5, M51s, M5A1, M6, M7. These scabbards are used on virtually everything. They're just like a fiberglass body, metal locket and chape, and canvas frog. Usually come with a wire hanger, but obviously Italy's deleted those, and they painted the whole thing the olive green. Generally the US ones won't have that same paint. In terms of markings, we've got a serial number on the right hand of the ricasso here, and you'll notice we've got 141033, I think it is. Yep. Now that's quite late in production, so Italy received about 147,000 M1 carbines from the US. Considering they received a couple of bayonets as well, I believe this would have been one of the very last manufactured. There wouldn't have been many after this. If I jump over to the other side, the left-hand ricasso, at the top we've got AET, which is the manufacturer. Then we've got a flaming bomb over cross cannons, and under that we've got 1960, which is the year of manufacture. Then on the crossguard, I didn't spot any markings, either the top, the bottom, or the sides. And same with the pommel, and it doesn't look like there's any markings in the plastic grips at all that have been molded in there at all. Jumping down to the scabbard, you can faintly make out the US M8A1. Usually there's a little code underneath that, but because this paint is so thick, the code's completely gone. The top lettering's usually a lot deeper and a lot thicker, and the manufacturer's usually a bit smaller and lighter, and it's been painted over completely. I can't even make it out. So yeah, those are the only markings I can find. Pretty cool little bayonet. I think it looks really nice. I love the plastic grip. The Italians copied the design with their BM59 bayonets. I've got a video for one of those coming up shortly, and they're virtually identical. The only real difference is the size of the muzzle ring, really, and maybe the pommel. I don't know. I haven't really had too much of a look, but visually they look very, very similar. In fact, they're a bit tough to tell the difference when I'm just casually looking at them. Anyway, guys, if I've missed anything or made any mistakes, feel free to correct me down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you know the significance of the flaming bomb and cross cannons, let me know what they signify, because I wasn't lucky enough to find out what they were. I assume they're like the crest for AET or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and have a great day.